welcome. Welcome back. Welcome aboard. Welcome home, as always. Completely dependent on where you are in relation to these messages, this energy, this channel. Let's be fair, this life, right? This week we're talking about what's up from the 7th of February to the 13th of February 2022. We start this week with a Taurus Moon, and the Moon sextiles Jupiter and then trines Mars before conjuncting Uranus and trining Venus. Now, the key here is that Moon-Uranus conjunction in Taurus, right? So this is about our feelings and how they shift and change. As they trine Mars and Venus, Mars and Venus are how we live in the world and how we create it, right? What our sense of home is and how we are in motion with that sense of home. There's a lot of pairings this week. It's like a promenade, really. It's like a weird square dance. We've got Mars and Venus in Capricorn. We've got Mercury and Pluto. Big deals for this week, right? We have the Sun and Saturn in Aquarius, and then we've got the Moon and Uranus. The week starts off with the Moon and Uranus in Taurus and ends the week, well, it doesn't end the week with it, but midweek we get the Moon in the North Node in Gemini. So it's a week of interplay, right? It's a week of connectivity and blending, right? So specifically on Monday, right, we're also looking at the Moon, or I'm sorry, Mars and Venus squaring Chiron. So here's the thing. The Moon and Uranus conjunct allows your shift and change, right? It allows for sudden awareness. It allows for emotional information and shift and change, fluidity, right? So this is about your 3D life, your identity and your feelings. Are you living your life in such a way as to feel fulfilled, content, satisfied, right? Because let's face it, happy is an imaginary term, right? Happy is an imaginary. There's nothing up underneath the word happy, right? Happy is situational. Fulfilled, content, satisfied. These are emotional states. Happy is like an illusion, right? Let's call it that. You can be happy for a moment, but fulfilled, content, satisfied, those are different. Tuesday, right? The Moon moves on to conjunct the North Node, right? And also trines Pluto and Mercury. So this is about self-expression, right? Your practical sense of self-expression. Again, Chiron squaring Mars and Venus. Speak through your own healing, right? Speak to it so you don't have to speak as it, right? And as in the evening, when the Moon trines that Mercury-Pluto pairing, you really, really have the power to rewrite your narrative, to really be an expression. You know, in the morning, we've got that Mars-Uranus trine, earth signs, practical. You know, there's a lot of what we do this week. But it's also about how you speak it, right? How you create the narrative about what you do. Both are important. Both are important. On Wednesday morning, early morning, the Moon moves into Gemini. Gemini, of course, being the first air sign. And Gemini has a lot of capacity to witness potential, right? All possibilities are available in the realm of Gemini. So this might be a day that you might feel bogged down, right? You might suffer from that analysis paralysis, right? You might feel hypercritical. You might feel overwhelmed by what if, right? But we also have that square, later in the evening, almost to Thursday, to Jupiter, right? So there is a balance on this day because Jupiter is sextile Uranus, remembering, right, that we can change the story, right? If it feels overwhelming, change the story. Change your perspective to the story, right? And then you change the reality. Does it feel like too much? Only if you believe it is, right? Rewrite your story. On Thursday, the moon is in conjunct Mars and Venus, but trine Saturn, right? So again, do the thing, do the thing, do the thing, do the thing. And when you get hung up in the vision, go back, do the thing some more, right? It's that before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. Do the thing. Do the thing. Do the thing. On Friday, Mercury conjuncts Pluto. This is a big deal. This is a breakout kind of day for you and your story. Remember that it is your truth that changes the world, but your truth and you are under absolutely no obligation to make sense to anyone else. With that Gemini moon trining the sun overnight, right? You're going to wake up understanding that you are under no obligation to make sense to anyone else. And by dinner time, the moon is going to change to the sign of Cancer. So on Saturday, that moon, that Cancer moon, squares Chiron, and then trines Jupiter, right? How are you expanding? How are you shifting before sextiling Uranus? Yeah, so that boldness you may have felt on Friday, you might find yourself a little more introspective, a little more inward, and that's okay, right? That's all right. It's okay to witness your truth for yourself, right? And that's okay. If it shakes up later in the evening, there's nothing wrong with that. And here is what I would like you to do on Saturday night. Ask for some dream direction as you go to sleep. Because on Sunday, we have a beautiful inconjunction to Saturn overnight. But then we've got the moon trining Neptune, right, before moving in conjunct the sun. So your dreams and your actions, your dreams and your actions. Is Sunday going to be a very busy day? Probably not. But that's okay. Because here's what I want you to know. Stillness looks a lot like stagnation, but it is not. And the only person that gets to decide whether you are still or stagnant is you. So do not get too stuck in your own stillness, in your own dreaminess, in your own blurriness. In fact, allow for those things. Find what they're going to teach you. Again, if we're asking for those dreams overnight on Saturday, then you might spend the day on Sunday contemplating them, because we have a big week coming up next week, right? I think last week I had a conversation about how Valentine's Day was going to be really wet and messy. I was not kidding, right? Valentine's Day is going to be wet and messy. And then we have a full moon in Leo the following week, square the North Node and in conjunct Pluto. So this is a week to really find the narrative of truth in your story, and find your plumb line, right? And if you don't know what that is, it's P-L-U-M-B, plumb line. And it really has to do with your true north, right? What keeps you connected and aligned with the concepts of fulfillment and contentment and satisfaction. Where do you get in your way? How does your plumb line get out of true, right? Is it when you try and convolute and explain your story, your truth to other people? Maybe. But again, right, we talked about on Friday, it really being that day of breakaway and really witnessing how you're doing the thing, right? How your life and times are representing, are in expression of your alignment, your story, your healing, your journey, your identity, your feelings, your sense of home, and the home that you are creating for yourself. And this week is a powerful week in terms of your ability to get clear on that story, to witness what and where you are overcritical, where you're second guessing, where, again, like we talked about last week, where you're in avoidance, right? Where you're in avoidance, and where you're in adaptation. And again, you are under no obligation to make sense to anybody else. And on Friday, when we deal with that Mercury conjunct Pluto, just remember that your expression is the purest expression of your connection. And you are the only one who gets to judge it, who gets to claim it, who gets to express it. And if it feels like overmuch, that's only if you believe it to be. So mind your beliefs. Mind your beliefs, and make sure that your expression is the right one. The right one. Ooh. Yeah. There we go. Well, of course. You are your choices. You are, guys. Yeah. It's a pretty big week. There's a lot going on. If you're interested in following some of the more mundane astrologers who deal with the world, I have plenty of recommendations for that, like world events and excitement like that. Always thrilling, always exciting. Yeah. All right, let's have some conversation. So on Monday, right, we talked about that Uranus Moon conjunction, trining Mars and Venus, 3D, right? Your identity, your feelings. How are you living your life in such a way to feel fulfilled, content, and satisfied? We've got the Ace of Wands and the Six of Swords. So the Ace of Wands, of course, is the inception of passion, motivation, what gets you out of bed in the morning. This can be about excitement. It can be about right, sensual pleasure. We've got Mars and Venus, pairing up in Capricorn. That's a very real and practical sign. We also have the Six of Swords, which is about moving from one state to the other, right? Moon conjunct Uranus. This is about moving from emotional turbulence, right, through the shift and change of your ideas into smooth sailing, into something that feels content and satisfied and fulfilled. That opportunity is there. Pursue your passions, right? We have the Sun and the Page of Wands on Tuesday. So the Moon squares Saturn and the Sun, that little pairing down there, right? Long before breakfast. And then Mars trines Uranus, creating for you the opportunity to shift, to move in such a way that your trajectory takes you where you want to go, right? This is Earth sign energy as well. We're talking about a Capricorn Mars, Capricorn Mars and a Taurus Uranus. So how are you moving? Is your self-expression inspiring? Is it practical? How can you improve it, right? We also have the way that you're speaking to your healing. Speak to it so that you don't speak as it, right? Speak to it so that you don't speak as it, right? We're continuing our journey here, utilizing our passion, using our voice to share and carry that passion, and also to witness it, right? This is a hot day. Look at this. As the moon trines Mercury and Pluto, really, you have ways that you can create something beautiful simply by your willingness, right? Look at him. He's wearing the sun around his neck to speak your truth, right? Speak to it so you don't speak as it. That's a big deal. On Wednesday, we've got the Six of Cups and the High Priestess. The Six of Cups, of course, is that unconditional love, right? Six of Cups is having your cups filled in that nostalgic, just really pure love kind of way. The High Priestess, of course, is about your intuition. It's about your divine connection. So again, if you feel, as that moon moves into Gemini, bogged down, if you feel any kind of sense of hypercritical energy or overwhelmed by the possibilities, remember that you can shift and change the story, right? You can change your reality. If it feels like too much, it's probably because you believe that it can be. But remember that when we're talking about goodness and love and yummy, wonderful things, there can't be too much. Lean in, dive in there, and shift the story accordingly. On Thursday, look, we have the Ten of Wands and the Nine of Pentacles. Let's pay attention. Ten of Wands is about feeling overburdened. It's about understanding that you have been taking on too much, that you have perhaps said yes to too many things, that you have allowed your passions to get ahead of you, right? And so when things have to shift and change to be more in alignment with that, it's about your boundaries, right? Nine of Pentacles is a card of self-sufficiency. It's a card of wish fulfillment. It's a card of understanding that you are independently responsible and capable of setting your boundaries, right? So as we have the moon, we talked about this later in the afternoon, there's a trine to Saturn, right? After the moon in conjuncts both Mars and Venus, right? Questioning your 3D-ness, right? What am I doing? Am I really doing this thing the right way, right? Because Gemini moon always wants to question, always wants to investigate. What if? And yet later on, the moon trines Saturn. Do the thing, right? Just do it. You're doing it right. Quit thinking about, oh my gosh, what if? Just do the thing, right? Don't get hung up in the what ifs, right? There's plenty of sense of allowing yourself to get caught in the spiral, to get caught in the, I have a friend who uses the word spun up. I got all spun up. It's so true. It's such a perfect air sign energy, right? With that moon in Gemini, I let myself get all spun up, right? You can, but it's always knowing that you come back to that resourced awareness. I can do this, right? Look at her beautiful, she's got the moon strung up for her, right? So instead of out there, right, the moon is where you are. So haul into that. Do the thing instead of worrying about the thing, right? Sometimes chop wood and carry water. That's how you get it done. On Friday, woohoo, Friday morning, Mercury conjunct Pluto. This is a big day, so let's pay attention. We've got the Magician and we've got the Empress, right? Both amazing, super powerful energies. This we talked about as that day of breakaway, right? Telling your story, remembering that it's your truth that changes the world and you are under no obligation to make sense to anyone else. The magician understands, right, that what you're doing is who you are. The Empress understands that the universe has your back no matter what. And no matter what you put out there, it's going to get amplified. The magician understands that we use care and caution. Don't conjure what you can't banish, right? But be in full expression of your truth. And as these two will remind you with both of these majors on this day, this cycle is a powerful cycle. This is a powerful aspect. Mercury conjunct Pluto in Capricorn. So you speak it, so it is transformed, right? Right. Abracadabra, Amy Jance, abracadabra. This is a big abracadabra day. Right? You have all the wands, you have all the power. What you do with it, that's up to you. Page of Cups, Ace of Pentacles. This is really quite beautiful energy. Again, we talked about how the moon moves into Cancer. And so the boldness of Friday might bring you back into your heart, right, on Saturday. And that is okay. That's absolutely okay. We've also, though, got this Ace of Pentacles that is really allowing us to create something solid as long as you're willing to let go of what you might have thought, right, back up there, or what you might have been hauling around with you that got a little bit heavy. So if you're willing to let those things go, new things can come in, right? New ways to witness that resourcedness that are more fulfilling, more contenting, more satisfying, right? Be yourself, introspection, and really follow it. And we talked about this being the night where we ask for dreams, because on Sunday, we've got the Five of Pentacles, we've got the Fool. Look, the Five of Pentacles is a card of being left out, but it's also where you've been in resistance, right? This is about where you've been in resistance. What's for you is always for you, right? And if you're going to put those dreams into action, I mean, maybe not, right? We talked about the moon trining Neptune and then being in conjunct the sun. What are you doing? Where are you? Right? And the Fool is that card of full faith traveling, right? Walking in faith, understanding I don't need a doggone thing that I don't already have, right? I am fully self-sufficient. I am more than capable of managing wherever I am and whatever is coming, right? I don't need anything else because I am my own contentment, right? We know this. We absolutely know this. It's all over this week. Where's your story about being uncontent, about being in resistance? How are you creating that story? Where can you give it up and walk away from it so that you are in receipt of everything that's already yours, right? And not hauling around the old nonsense and drivel. Guess what? You know where that lives? That lives with you because you are your choices. We have the card of building blocks. This is interesting. I don't think I've ever seen this one. I like it. It's a 28. That gives us a 1, right? Which is all about beginnings and completions, which is lovely. Look at her. She's got lots of cool blocks and yeah. I like it. Let's talk about it. Strong foundations, a beautiful work in progress. You have everything you need to cultivate an extraordinary life. Well, didn't we just spend a whole lot of time saying that? This is a time when your focus needs to be on the foundations you build upon. Your work, your relations, and your very being are underwritten by your values, your ethics, your morals, and your core beliefs. Are they still true for you? Will they stand the test of time and serve as the solid grounding upon which you construct your life? Now you are making changes that will affect everything in a positive way. Your destiny is truly a remarkable and beautiful design. Well, I mean, I think we did just spend a lot of time saying all of those things, which I kind of love. And again, you are under no obligation to make sense to anyone but yourself, but you have all of the pieces, right? You have all this ace energy. You've got all these majors. Like, this is big shift and change. What are you choosing, right? What are you choosing? And if you don't love what you're choosing, choose again, right? And this is what I'm talking about when we kind of queue up for next week. Be in assessment of your choices, and when you get to this breakaway point, be ready to put down all that junk that's not working and pick up what needs to be there, because you have all of it. Wow. It's just about what are you going to do with it, right? And we're not quite at that what are you going to do with it right yet. There we go. Whew. This card is a testament to all the work you have done. It's a nod from the universe that your efforts are seen and are being rewarded. Things are moving forward, and you will continue to progress and reach a higher state of consciousness as well as earthly success, right? It is not enough. I understand that we have this very strong energy of Mars and Venus right now. But we also have Mercury and Pluto, right? It is not enough to focus on the 3D, guys. You are not just here to be in this world. You are also here to shift and change. This card can encourage you to deepen your spiritual practices and work toward alignment with the highest codes of your being. Life is all about moving and reaching our true potential, right? Don't be fooled that the mundane, right? The 3D is all you're here to affect, shift, and change. You have to concern yourself also with your soul's journey, and that is going to look different for absolutely everyone. And it is not your job or place to judge someone else's soul journey, right? What they do might not look like your journey. That's okay, right? Tell your story. Tell your story. Walk your truth. That's what you're here to do. Big blessings. Yeah, big blessings. We probably won't have a midweek conversation, but yeah, keep it in mind. Take care. Big blessings.